We are here with Ryerson TV. I'm Amanda Sufi. Today's guests, I have Kattie, Laur here, and Anthony Suen, two fourth-year RTA students who have recently come up with the idea for creating an interactive documentary to raise awareness for epilepsy. So Kattie, to my understanding, you were the one to propose this idea. What inspired you to begin this initiative?
Well, epilepsy was in my life for about 3 years. Just dealing with it through people that I know. And as far as I know, I never really understood it a lot. And as far as I know, other people haven't really understood it a lot. Okay. Through the events that I've gone through and understood what other people have gone through, I really was like, wow, people need to know more about this. There's like a whole lot more to it than seeing flashing lights and just passing out. Like, it's so much more than that. It's way, way deeper down inside of a person. It's in their brain, all over the place. Like, I really want people to understand what it's like to have that and what it's like to go through it, especially with medication. That's a whole another issue. So yeah, it's a really interesting subject. So
yeah. And you were saying you had a few friends who were recently diagnosed in their 20s.
Yeah. So going through your 20s, I think you deal with a lot of issues with pride. You want to be successful, and it's right in the midst of like when you're starting to become a person, and being diagnosed with epilepsy just completely shatters all of that. You have to restart everything and reevaluate your situation. So I think starting and going with this game, I think I wanted to focus on being in your 20s and like late teens and how it kind of affects you that way. So yeah.
What is your progress looking as of right now with the game, guys?
Well, right now we're kind of still in the concept phases. We've been throwing around ideas a lot, and making a game is not really something you just rush into. You need to have a lot of planning, a lot of kind of thinking about what you want to do. In a game about epilepsy, I mean, it's an audio-visual condition, so there's a lot of chance for you do interesting things to kind of get that message across without overtly telling the audience what we want to say. We can show them and kind of guide them through the gameplay or how the game looks and the game plays in terms of what the players are doing or what the audience is kind of getting their hands on, because there's a tangible, like, tactile element to gameplay, which is what we want to take advantage of in terms of the game. I mean, that's kind of the direction we want to take. We haven't really put anything on paper yet because it's kind of still early. We still need to do a lot of research with the subjects and kind of understand what epilepsy is in a way. And from that, we can actually move forward and kind of think about, okay, what's a cool way, not a cool way, but like a meaningful way and an interesting way to raise awareness and kind of get people who play the or experience it to be like, okay, now I'm starting to understand what these kind of people go through. And I think that's at the core of every single concept we come up with. I think that has to be in order to stay true to the audience, which is people with epilepsy, people who want to know more about epilepsy.
Yeah.
So,
I'm sure you have sort of like an image of what this game may look like or how students will be playing it. Can you just guide us through maybe what that will look like?
Yeah, I mean, from an aesthetic standpoint, an artistic standpoint, we kind of want to make sure that there's a contrast between what the player, sees or feels in a normal setting compared to someone who's going through an epileptic experience, right? It has to be very different, so we have to kind of make sure that contrast is there, because it needs to be.
I also wanted to focus on a lot of emotion too, because there's like completely changes the way you think and stuff. So I wanted to focus on like depression and social anxiety and pride, and trying to like screw around with the way that the user plays the game will affect this part of their brain that'll make them feel the way that they feel, and then all of a sudden they'll be like, whoa, like this is what it's like, pretty much. That's what I kind of wanted to focus on too.
Awesome. I think I've showed you guys what this game may look like. That concludes our interview for today. Look out for this week's edition of the Ryersonian, where you can look out more about what the story is about. Thanks so much for being here with us today, guys. For the Ryersonian, I'm Amanda Sufi.